Here's another thing that I've noticed with these is a lot of people are coming forward also with this need or desire to collect like seeds and garden stuff and want to get property and grow food and start teaching people how to do, you know, to be able to survive on their own, or what's the word I'm looking for?
Preppers.
Be self-reliant, you know, and
Okay.
know how to survive. And so, yeah, there's a lot that's kind of come around a few times, as well as people asking those questions to their collective, to their councils of, you know, what am I supposed to be doing with this? And they're helping people to relearn how to feed themselves, basically, because we've been so programmed now to go to the grocery store and grab what we need, that if that system ever shuts down, we're going to starve. You know, we don't know how to go grow our own food. And so they've been shown to go get organic type seeds and start stocking that up, and they're educating themselves on how to do canning and how to preserve food and how to teach other people how to do it. So that's kind of exciting too. We're kind of, we went into all this technology. Now it's kind of like, okay, now let's go back to figuring out how to take care of ourselves and our food and
be more self-efficient kind of thing.
Yeah, the self-efficient. Yep. And probably going into more of a solar power system as well. And yeah, there's a word for it. It's escaping me. And I can tell somebody listening to it is out there shouting it into our ears right now.
What word are you looking for?
You know, when you're off the grid kind of a thing and you can take care of yourself, you got everything. You got the solar panels, you got your garden, you got your water systems and everything. And I guess just
survivalist. Is it?
No.
Is it like,
if I think of it in the middle of the video, though, you guaranteed to hear me shout it out.
It reminds me of yeah, absolutely. I know there's a TV show called Preppers, and they were preparing for all the stuff, you know, but they're preparing for like end of the world stuff.
Yeah, this doesn't seem to be end of world. It seems to be more like a collapse of the economy, or, you know, living in more of a commune type situation where everybody's helping and money isn't necessarily the focus. It's more of the community, everyone's helping everyone, everybody's pitching in, doing what they need to do, that kind of thing. So it seems to be more of that commune type mentality that's coming
like more people coming together.
Yeah, like villages again, you know, little tribal villages or whatever, and you have your little group, and you know, everybody works together to tend the garden and the animals and whatever. So yeah, so I tell you, we're coming into a new age of things, and people are, the fact that I'm talking to people that are literally all over. Like one of them was in Belgium, one of them was in, well, one of them's in California, one of them is in Ireland, you know, and it's like they don't know each other, and yet they all have the same thought, the same idea, and they almost describe it in the same ways. And so it's out there, and it's out there in the collective, you know, to start these little systems up. And so I have a feeling we're going that way.
Now, I can't think of the American term, but my father-in-law, he's from, well, he grew up in Israel, and they have like those kind of communities that you were describing. They're called kibbutza. I might be pronouncing it wrong, but he loved it. It's kind of like a community farm. You don't live on, it's not like a farm that you live on, but it is like a community, and you have your few jobs that you're responsible for, and you know, this other person, he has these few jobs that he's responsible for, and each one kind of like has its own farm and process. And if you don't have a farm, you might be doing something that's more of a trade, but
it all comes together,
or together, you know, and they all, not all live together in one house or anything like that, but they all live in a certain section, a certain area, and they're all connected. And I'm pretty sure it's called a kibbutza.
Wow.
I might be pronouncing it wrong. He's probably like,
sounds cool though.
Wrong.
Yeah.
You're saying it wrong.
Oi!
Yeah. He's like, I said it so many times to you.
Yeah, you got it wrong. How'd you
But
do that?
that's what it reminds me of, what you're describing, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, so there's definitely some cool changes coming for our future, you know, as we evolve, but we have to get out of this other stuff that we're doing. And I don't know if we're going to have time to listen to the one that is the client that watches over the earth, but she talks about repairing the earth and restoring the land and stuff in hers. So so that's one. If we don't get to it on this video, if you're listening and you want to hear that one, you know, she watches over the planet and she's guiding people to heal the planet. And you know, the other day I had the taste of blood in my mouth. And I thought, this is really weird. And this was for actually a mediumship reading. And there was this taste of blood in my mouth. I said, I don't even understand what that means. So she goes, well, Google it. So we Google it, and it was about having victory. And she was going through something that would apply to. And so it's stuff, you just can't make this stuff up. You know, it's like,
Right.
What would make me think to taste blood in my mouth and then go Google that, you know? And so it's Spirit's way. It's the other side's way. It's the fairies' way. That's how they get us to really start thinking maybe there's something to this, because why would I have that? Why would I get that? And it's a powerful way to let us know that they are around, or that this is real. You know, where would that information come from otherwise? So yeah, that one was kind of cool to me when the fairies came through with that metal structure or whatever, and they weren't letting it go. They were, nope, it's there. Now let's walk up your driveway, you know. And so they were going to make sure you knew it was there.
Oh, hold on.
You know, that's interesting. Hi, Tracie. I just overheard, because my room is like right next door. But that was interesting how you said about the taste of blood, and then you Googled it, and it means like victory. Mm-hmm. And because my mom, like sometimes in the morning, she wakes up and she'll have like the taste of blood in her mouth. And she just had knee surgery, and she's doing like amazingly well, like walking around. And so it's like, maybe like she was so worried that like she wasn't going to be able to get around after having surgery and stuff. And she had surgery 2 days ago, and she's getting around with minimal pain. So it's kind of like a victory over the surgery, you know, like.
Yeah, that gives me chills.
Yeah, that's so interesting. I'm going to tell her that.
Yeah, see, no, the synchronicity of that story coming up where you could hear it. See, those kind of things. They wanted you to get the message. Why would I talk about that? It doesn't have to do with these Ascension sessions.
Yeah, so. And you know what? And I never like pay attention to you guys. Like, no offense, but I never pay attention to y'all are doing your thing. And it's just crazy that I happen to just overhear that one thing, you know, when I'm not even like, you know, paying attention. It just came through. So I thought that was really interesting. I'm like, I have to say something.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm glad your mom's doing good.
Yeah, thank you.
That's awesome.
Cool. All right.
She's going to feel a lot better with that new knee too.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think so.
What's even better is that this is being recorded and you making your debut.
Oh Lord. Oh, hello. Thank goodness I slapped on a little makeup this time.
Yeah. Shoot, this time. How many times have you jumped in on his video?
Quite a few.
Yeah, but this is the first time it's being recorded.
There we go.
Cool. Yeah. I'll let you guys get back to it.
All right. Bye.
Yep, that's going into the YouTube video.
I think that has to stay. It's more confirmation that there's all this synchronicity going on.
Told you. It all like stacks up.
Yeah, it's right there. The timing of her hearing it and me saying that, it's perfect.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
can't make this stuff up.
No. It wouldn't be fun if we did. I mean, the fact that it just pops in like it does, that's part of the excitement. So. Oh,
yeah. All right. Let's see. What is the next one we're going to play? One of the ones that I kind of want to play is this activation session. Looks at a human body in 5D. And I thought this one was pretty interesting. So
all right.
Click on this one. And I'm not going to start from the beginning, but I'll start right here. And
we can choose to be in a body if we choose to, but it limits us.
That's about right.
So I'm going to point out the sound quality on this one. That is one of the ones that's in office, in person, and the heater's running in the background. That's why it's harder to hear him. The mic isn't near him. It's sitting on a coffee table. So this is why I say sometimes it's better to do the videos because our eyes are closed anyway. So we get a better sound quality for the re-listen. But go ahead.
Okay. And I would like to add something else to that. I listened to this video. When I first listened to this video, I had earphones in. And I didn't even notice the difference of the sound quality. So,
okay.
A little tip, maybe if you listen to it with earphones, it might help out a little bit. But I think I was at the gym when I listened to it. So,
there you go. There's your workout right there.
Yeah. So, and when I listen to this video with the earphones, I don't remember it being that much of a sound distortion. But you never know.
Yeah.
It
was so impactful. You tuned it out.
Right. I bypassed it.
Yeah.
Limited. It takes away the all and makes us focus on the minutia instead of the all. I don't know if that makes sense.
And what is the purpose of that experience?
Well, as I relate to its details, it allows us to get the fine, minute details of something as it applies to the whole. So it's a way of bringing in information to the whole. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's just gathering information.
And so everyone here in a physical body on the 3D realm is gathering information for the whole.
That's how I see it.
Mm-hmm. And when they collect the information and add it to the collective, what is the benefit of that?
It gives the collective a benefit of knowledge. Everything is about knowledge.
And what is the purpose of the duality?
Beyond judgment, there is no right or wrong. We must have the inner circle to have the outer circle. There must be a void with a solid. Creates balance. It's balance. I was seeing balance on the inside, balance on the outside, and I'm feeling like it's balance. Like speakers on a stereo. If it's not balanced, it just doesn't feel right or sound right. I can feel the energy move with my hands.
Mm-hmm. So as a spiritual being in a human experience, one that is creating balance with duality, what does that look like? How do you experience balance and duality as the human being?
I just felt like the intertwining of DNA spiraling up by embracing both.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what does it look like to embrace both?
It's this really cool sculptural thing that moves. It's harmony. It's like, okay, there's so many ways I can describe this. It's harmony of a spire on top of a church winding, or like the magical unicorn, the way its horn spirals, like follow each other around up.
So what purpose does the shadow serve when one is in acceptance of it?
Balance. It's balance. If you don't have the balance, it doesn't. Otherwise, you don't have the whole picture. You don't have the whole. Everything isn't black or white. It's both. It gives you. If I think of a circle, you have the dark and the light. If you think of the moon in an eclipse, it can go dark or it can go light. Or a line, a dark line and a light line. It goes from dark to light. We have a middle point that's a middle gray, whatever color you want to pick. If you didn't have one, you couldn't have the other. You would be missing half the experience. But we put judgment on it. So the purpose is to get rid of judgment, to have both.
And how does one get rid of the judgment?
By letting go of the horrible teachings. Yeah. Letting go of the past. But embracing the lessons of the past.
And what of the experience that is being brought in through the duality? What do you do with the experience?
Learn from it. You need to experience both and learn from it. Otherwise, it's an incomplete experience. If one side is ignored.
So if you go into anger, what is...
Well, love balances it out. So you can't know love if you don't know anger.
And what would you do with anger once you understand what it is? Can you bring the love in and love the anger?
It's a must.
Did you had any information that went along with this one? Like, what was this session mostly about?
So this one's been a while back, so I'm going to try and remember. He was very,
he was into it.
Yeah, this is a friend of mine that he was just seeing everything in such an impactful way. And I do remember that there were times where I would open my eyes to see where he was at with things, and he would have the biggest smile on his face with everything he was seeing and experiencing with that, and really bringing in the frequencies that he was experiencing there, and seeing that. Have we even gotten to the point where we where he sees the body in the 5D? Because
no,
he does talk about the body in the 5D as well, and
okay, we'll play the rest of it.
Yeah, well, one of the things I want to say about that is that can be up to interpretation as well. A lot of people ask me about the body in the 5D versus 3D. We have these physical bodies. Keep in mind that if we saw somebody's frequency, if we were in a 3D version and we're seeing a 5D, they're going to look like a hologram of some sort. They're not going to look physical to us, because it's just like taking that pin and shaking it, and you can see it, but it's becoming fuzzy. That's kind of what the body's going to look like. So when he's in this, I'm not sure what experience he's having with that body, because he's talking about not needing, or that the body is energy or something. So let's listen to it, and then we'll talk a little bit more about that.
And we stopped the video at 12.
At 12. I saw that.
Happens all the time.
All the time. Perfect. If you're watching it, go look up 1212.
That's nice.
Perfect.
Okay. Okay.
And what is the experience you are having right now?
I had a lot of anger as a small child. I think I felt like they weren't listening to me.
And that's an experience.
Yeah. At the same time, they were really good to me, but they didn't listen.
And they didn't listen because that was a learned behavior on their part.
Yeah. Yeah.
As you span out to the bigger picture, does that help to love the experience that you're having?
It does. I needed to know that so I knew what love was. That makes so much sense.
And then what happens to the anger?
The anger is balanced out by the love.
And does that change the experience?
It does. It does change the experience. It brings it in perspective and balance. Just like one needs to know poor in order to experience rich and appreciate both. Or know hunger. One needs to know all the forms of energy to understand how they work. From the smallest pebble to a tree to an animal.
And expansive. And is the session complete?
Yes.
Hi.
So it must have been in the spot we didn't play, where he
Maybe.
talks about the body, because I never did hear that. And I'll just recap that he was saying we don't need the physical body. And so that must have been in the first part, but he was saying we don't need the physical body to be in 5D. In fact, he couldn't figure out why we would want that, because he was seeing himself as such a high vibration, there was no physical body. So my conflict with that was in my own mind, my own wrestling with it was, okay, so if we're not in the physical body, then wouldn't we just be considered passed on or transitioned out? Would that really be moving to the 5D, or is that death? What are we doing here when we're not in the body if you leave that behind? But then as I was asking that question, that's what they were showing me is looking at it from the third dimension, it would look like you were out of body in a fifth dimension because you're vibrating and it's looking like energy versus a physical body. But if you're in the fifth dimension, then it's more of a physical, that vibration. You're in that vibration as well. So you're caught up to that frequency. You're seeing it more as a physical. So I'm not sure how to interpret what he was seeing there as far as it looking like he didn't need the body. But he does say that. I believe it must be in the first part. The client is talking about the balance of duality and how important that is, as well as what do our bodies look like in the 5D or New Earth. Take a listen.
We just know she would like to take you to your future. When you get there, will you please explain it to us?
There are many worlds that need healing.
Tell us more about that, please.
I'm meant to go heal in other worlds. To help other worlds heal. Okay. It's a service that we do. I'm seeing the we as in large letters we. Okay. The all.
Who is the we?
All. The we are those that are choosing we're choosing to make a difference. Oh. Okay. Not everyone chooses that. Okay. I'm getting some weird visual stuff. Okay. Volunteer. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
We volunteer. Okay. Wow. Okay. I get what shuttle meant before. It's not a physical shuttle. It's this vibrational feeling. We all join in that vibration and move off to where we're needed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is so cool. It's not a physical body. It's energy. It's energy moving. And we come in and we're in this circle I was describing earlier, and then we shoot off. Oh. I have to figure out how to get that down.
And
In 3D
so there is
visual.
no physical body.
No, there's no physical body. Wow, it's the coolest.
And what happens with the physical body?
It's not needed. It's just a shell. It's like casting off the chains. It's like the physical body's gone. And we don't need it. We move. Oh. Cool. Huh. Okay, I know what 5D is now.
And for your recording, can you give the best description of that?
You don't need your physical body. You could choose to have it if you wanted to, but you don't need it, so why would you want? Why would you need it? Huh.
And what part of the future did you go into?
I'm not sure what part of the time doesn't really make sense there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So what you were saying is it does not matter how old or young someone is or what kind of physical shape they might be in,
No.
as they will leave that vibrational body behind.
Yes, completely. It has nothing to do with anything physical. It's like dropping a skin, dropping the whole thing and just leaving. It's like the life force just leaves that body because it doesn't need it. Mm-hmm. The body's holding it back. The body's only allowing it to survive in the circumstances that we're in here on the earth or places like the earth.
So would it be the soul's attachment to the body that holds them back?
Yes, exactly. The soul. I could see the light, but I wanted it. Yeah, the soul. The soul leaves. We are all the soul. Mm-hmm. We can choose to be in a body if we choose to, but it limits us. There must be an experience we need to be limited. It takes away the all and makes us focus on the minutia instead of the all.
Mm.
I don't know if that makes sense.
Oh, almost got 555.
Aw, so close. And you almost, over here it's 3:34 in the afternoon, so almost on 3:33. So yeah, so he talks about not needing the body, and maybe it's my attachment to the body that's causing me to have all these questions, because you hear so much about the 5D, and most of them you hear the stories, they're in the physical body. So I don't know. What do you think of that?
My thoughts would be just from different books and so on, especially Dolores Cannon's books, is that you choose your reality. You know,
Yeah.
if that's the reality you're looking for, then that's what you get. If you're looking to have a reality with the physical body, then that's the reality that's going to be molded for you.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a reality where you have an energy body, then same thing.
Well, and as I'm listening to this again, because again, this one was recorded a long time ago, and I'm listening to that and I'm thinking, wasn't that kind of what we're already doing with the Ascension sessions? We're leaving the body and having these journeys and these experiences. So we're doing that in an energetic form. So maybe that could be related to it as well. It was fascinating, though, to listen to what he was seeing, what he was experiencing, going through that with him, and having, again, these audios could never do the energetic exchange justice, you know,
Absolutely.
the stuff that's going on. But definitely it's fabulous to see everything through the eyes of the client, through the eyes of the channel, through even the eyes of a dog, as you could see, or the other day it was the bees. And yeah, so lots of different experiences happening with the Ascension Activation Sessions.
Nice. That's pretty cool. Was there anything else to take away from this video, the one that we just played? Was there anything else, maybe before or after, that you could think of?
Well, he talks about the duality and how necessary it is to have, you know, I guess we could label it the good with the bad, so that you could understand each of them. And his aha moments around that were pretty cool. That was a good takeaway. You wouldn't know this feeling without having that one, or you wouldn't know the depths of this feeling without having that one, kind of a thing. And through his experiences with that, I think that's kind of a powerful aha moment as well for the client as he's going through it, to understand why he had to face the adversity that he had to face in his life, and what is the purpose of that, and how are those challenges helping him in his ascension. And, you know, for all of us to listen to that, we can relate to it in some level and find the reason for our challenges. And how applying love to the situation, I love the fact that I had that experience and it was able to mold me this way and show me this and show me that. You know, if you can take a different approach towards how you're reacting to the situation at hand, that could be helpful as well. And I think that was kind of portrayed a little bit in this clip as well. So
nice.
Yeah.
Interesting. And I'm sure you have more to come, that's for sure.
Let's hope so. Lots more. And yeah, so hopefully that reaches out to a lot of people that were wondering what these sessions were about, and kind of helps people to understand, you know, they're for everyone, really. If you're feeling called or would like to explore more stuff, and you've got this open mind and you're just ready to go see where it takes you, and these are amazing sessions.
Absolutely. Is there any, there's probably some, but is there any Ascension Activation Sessions that, you know, that were pretty cool, amazing stories, but you couldn't upload them yet, or you just didn't?
In the beginning, I wasn't even thinking about getting permission. So so now we get permission, and that's why you're seeing the videos appear. But one of the very first ones I did, before it even had its label or its name, we went into a fairy realm, and the healing circle was created by the fairies and the flowers and nature, and everything that was coming in was the wizard's magic, the dragon, the unicorn. I think we heard the unicorn get mentioned a couple of times just in this show alone. And you know, there's just so much magic in some of that stuff. And she got activated in light language and started using light language after her session. I had another gal that came in and had one done that was in person. And in her session, I kept seeing, or the channel kept seeing, this owl standing with her in her healing circle. And she never mentioned the owl. So afterwards, I told her, you know, while you were in your healing circle, there was this owl that was with you. Did you ever recognize the owl? And she's like, oh, I didn't. And so we just had this little brief conversation about the owl, and she went home, and I think this was the next day or somewhere within a 2 to 3 day time span. And she writes me and says, "You won't believe what happened. I pulled up in my driveway and there was this huge owl sitting in my yard. And I got out of the car and it didn't fly away. So I just stood there and it looked at me and I looked at it and we just stood there looking at each other. And then it hopped a little bit closer to me. And I was thinking that's an unusual behavior for an owl." And she said she just stood there as long as it did. And eventually it flew off. And she said, "I just kept thinking about how you said there was an owl in my session." And then the thing that she came in for the session for, she had a court date for something and she went to court and everything went boom, boom, boom. Beautiful. Didn't ask for it to be any better. You know, everything went really well. And so I guess it was the owl just wanted her to know it was going to be okay. But yeah, so all kinds of different things going on in these sessions. I'm sure there would be lots of other stories if I could remember them all. I swear I'm always coming out of these sessions going, "Oh my gosh, you won't believe it." But yeah, they are definitely good sessions. I have dogs wrestling in the background, so I apologize for the weird noises coming from my side of the tracks here. Anyway,
Karen,
but yeah, awesome stuff going on here for sure.
Karen might remember the name that her father-in-law grew up on, the farm community. What's the name?
Oh,
Kibbutz?
yeah, a kibbutz in Hebrew is a kibbutz.
Kibbutz.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so we're all growing into that here eventually. Everyone keeps talking about these communal farms.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
can you explain what a kibbutz is?
Yeah, so basically, you are able to live there for free, but you have like, you know, responsibilities and duties, like whether it be like tending to like the gardens or the animals, you know, cleaning. So yeah, it's communal, like as you were saying.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like what people are talking about in their sessions.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, she's having like people like coming in and having the need, right, to have like seeds and
Yeah, they
grow their
grow
own
things.
crops and so on. Well,
Yeah.
these people that are coming to see her on these Ascension Activation videos, they have the same feeling afterwards or before?
I think that it's before they even come to the sessions. They've already started their journey of collecting seeds and gathering food and getting themselves established so that they could start planting and growing as soon as they can find their property.
Yeah, it's basically like living on a farm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he loved it.
Now, the living quarters, did everybody live in one house? I thought it was like multiple things.
Yeah, I really don't.
Maybe they could start a tiny house community or something.
Oh my God, I'm a huge fan of the tiny house movement.
There we go.
I just wouldn't have room for all my bags. That's the only problem.
I know, I could never do it. I couldn't even, that'd be like turning this office space into a home, and it'd be like, oh no, ain't happening.
Yeah, I like it in theory, but as far as carrying it out, that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank
you, Karen.
No problem.
Second debut.
She's going to be a hit. She's going to be starring in these left and right now.
Absolutely. Pretty cool. Let's see. There's one other thing I will touch base on. There's two things I will touch base on. I would like to add that also Tracie does a 5-card pull, the tarot reading. So right now she has a playlist that deals with all of her, what is it, for the week? Yeah, it's for the week, right?
Yeah, I do one for the week and then for the weekend. So Monday through Friday and then Friday through Saturday. So Friday gets hit twice. So, nice. Or Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm sorry. I think I said Friday through Saturday. But yeah, so it's kind of a heads up into what does the collective need to know for the week. And and so it's kind of fun.
I watched the funniest one was for your April Fool's one. That was one of the funny ones.
Yeah, I don't know if that one made it on the playlist, but yeah, that one was good.
You can add it later.
Yeah, I'll get it in there.
Another thing I would like to add is that the Dragon video portal video that we did, I mean, the amount
Powerful.
of comments that we got, and even though I wasn't able to see anything, but the amount of comments from everybody out there on YouTube, you know, listing their experience, I was like, wow, that's amazing. How many people commented about what they were able to see, what they were able to do, and I was like,
yeah,
that's impressive. So thank you for sharing your experience on the Dragon.
That was huge. And I'm telling you, if you got an experience with the Dragon, then you would definitely have an experience with Ascension sessions.
That's a good sign.
Yeah, that's a good sign if you can do it off of a video and still see your Dragon, and yeah, then to have that interaction where it's one-on-one and you're getting asked questions directly in alignment with what you're seeing, that can get pretty powerful as you evolve it. So
yeah, and like I said, I'm gonna have the links to these playlists in my description, so you can go directly to it.
Love it. Thank you, Jason.
You're welcome. Yeah, it's cool stuff. It's interesting. I know some of the ones that you're not able to share that you tell me about, but hopefully one day you'll be able to share those.
Yeah. There's so many different experiences, and really, if you get busy enough that if you don't jump on it right away, then it's kind of like, where was that one? What one was that? You know, whose session was that? And it gets very convoluted. But yeah, there's definitely been a lot of different energies that have come in, a lot of different beings. The fun part is when you're sitting there and you're like, oh, I've never dealt with this one before, so they're going to give me a frequency download so that I can, it's like getting a new radio station or something, and they give me a download so that I can actually communicate with the ones that are coming in. And
nice.
Yeah, it's been an extraordinary journey so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And it seems like every, you know, because on your Facebook page, I get to see what your sessions were about, you know, what you typed in. And it's like, oh, man, that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah. And gosh, it's been probably a little while since I've shared. I guess I shared about the bees. The bees came in and gave the message that we really need to pay attention to how we're treating the environment.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of things that they're just, the bees were kind of comical in the sense that they're just shaking their little bee heads saying, what do you think's going to happen if this doesn't survive and that doesn't survive? You think you're going to survive? It's like common sense is out the window with the way we treat the planet. And
right.
Oh, one of the gals in Spain, hopefully she's listening. Hello, if you are. She went into what I keep calling the rabbit hole. And she went into this hole, and it was literally tunnels underground. And then she comes across this dragonfly, and so she morphs into the dragonfly or shapeshifts into it or whatever. And then I said, well, what's it like to look through the eyes of a dragonfly? Well, apparently they have multiple eyes. And so she was seeing multiple things all at the same time and able to integrate it all and take all that information in. I'm telling you, we don't give the other creatures on this planet enough credit because they're advanced in this ability to do certain things, and it's just mind-blowing. So that was fascinating too, to experience the dragonfly like that. Let's see, this one went to the inner earth. So this is one of my posts for, if you guys aren't following me on Facebook, this is something that you might find on there that I can't put on YouTube, or that it's just a post. So it's one of today's channel, the Ascension Sessions, brought the client deep into the inner earth, where she experienced a realm with fairies and other fairyland beings. Then off we went to an outside of the galaxy, where we saw an alien being holding an orb in the palm of its hand. And inside of the orb was an entire galaxy within it. Another fantastic journey with lots to explore. So she was seeing the Octurians holding these orbs, and they were kind of like the keepers of that galaxy. So you might would say that would, it's a matter of interpretation. Is that God? Is that being the creator of that galaxy and overlooking all of it in that sense? But so many questions. That's what these journeys are about, expanding the mind. So yeah.
Absolutely.
So.
The plot thickens, layers on top of layers.
Exactly. So I just look forward to what's next and who crosses my path next and whose path I cross, because it's fun to find out. I feel so connected to a lot of these people when I get online with them or meet them in person. It's amazing. It's like that kindred soul thing and that soul recognition.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's kind of fun. It's like finding family members,
Right.
What's our 6 degrees of separation? Oh, it's the Arcturians. Oh, it's the Palladians. No.
Nice.
Yep. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy it.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Is there anything else you would like to add? I think we touched base on a few things.
If you are interested in doing a session, you can go on my website and just schedule it right there and just click on the schedule button, and it'll help you find a day and a time and give you the details. So
nice. That's pretty cool.
And if you are in the area and you want it in person, please add that to your request for this session, because otherwise I'm assuming you want video, and that kind of messed me up the other day. I was at the office, came home because I thought it was a video session, got home, realized it was in person, so I had to go back to the office. So luckily I made it in time, but yeah, they were already there, so it's all good. It worked out in the wash, but yeah, let me remind me that you do want in person if it isn't in person, because I am used to doing them online. So
perfect. It's a different type of setup that you'll need.
Yeah, it is. The QHHT is in person. That's the only way we can do those. But this one seems to work really well doing them online. And it's not to take away. You heard the recording from the in-person one, and it's still, you can still hear
the
it.
other person, he was hitting on all cylinders, and the owl and so on.
Yeah. So we're really not where we're sitting when we go on these sessions. We're going to go meet somewhere else. So right. I've done sessions on, with someone in New Zealand, and we both said it felt like we were just standing right in the same room with each other. The energy, our energies were so blended. And there's been some incredible journeys like that. So
I would ask, but I guess it would be hard to figure out, but what's the furthest someone has ever been for a session?
Away?
Mm-hmm.
South Africa. I'm in Oregon in the US. I've had South Africa, Kenya, Ireland. In fact, I have an Ireland one coming up. And then Belgium, New Zealand.
Did you have France and Italy as well?
Italy, yes. And of course Spain, because I was in Spain, so I did that. And then Quebec. I know I'm probably forgetting a few, but I'm just kind of traveling the world in my mind while I'm pulling those out. So yeah, it's funny. I forgot the Italy one, because that's my Michael Jackson. She's got Michael Jackson working with her, and she's also doing the light language and just doing phenomenal things. So
that's pretty cool.
Powerful stuff. Yeah.
Nice.
I'm loving it.
Absolutely. Well, don't forget to check out Tracie's website for an Ascension Activation Session. So see what happens. If you gravitate to it, just do it, see what happens.
Yeah, you never know what's waiting to be activated.
Hey, you don't know what's going to happen.
No.
What it sounds like.
Yeah, we could go anywhere, do anything. So yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. And healing. There's always healing in there, clearing old energy.
That's the first phase of it, right? The first phase.
Yeah. Just clearing the energy channels so that you can get to that higher frequency and go for the journey. So yeah, the first half of it's usually kind of gets into that. But it's amazing how they can take something that feels so intense, like this relationship that's just, and you get it in the healing circle and they have you look at it, and the way that they will work the energy with that, you'll be hugging that energy before they walk out of your circle. So it's pretty powerful. So if you got a relationship you'd like to heal, maybe the healing circle is the place to do it.
When you say relationship, like a marriage, boyfriend, girlfriend?
Marriage, boyfriend, girlfriend, family member, deceased loved one, it doesn't matter because we're working with them on an energy.
So family relationships as well.
In any relationship, yeah. I've had people bring their animals into their healing circles and bring in physical healing for them. But usually what happens in the healing circle, if there is a physical ailment, they will send energy to that. But what they're really looking to do is making sure there's no bitterness, no anger, no, there's a lot of abuse out there, a lot of abusive relationships, and that you and I know if you're one of those that have been abused, you might not be going, well, they don't deserve my forgiveness. But really, if you give this a shot, you're going to be so happy you did. And once that burden is lifted off of you, of holding on to that, it's just amazing. And you'll be so glad you did it. And it doesn't necessarily let that other person off the hook for their karma, but you might see more of why it happened and put that piece together, and that could be healing. So powerful. I can't tell you, it's powerful. So.
Cool. Well, we're gonna wrap this video up, and
let's do it. Yeah.
And don't forget, if you come across some more interesting Ascension Activation Sessions,
I'll be sharing them.
Yeah.
We'll
do this again.
We'll be getting more permission and getting more of these things out there. A lot of times they can be very personal, and maybe there's this little tidbit of golden nugget in there, but it's mixed with names and personal stuff, and I can't figure out how to squeeze that out. So that happens sometimes too. But
and I think you do a good job taking out anything that's personal. So
yeah, I try that. That's one thing I highly respect your privacy. So yeah, that's important.
Nice.
All right. Well, thank you, Jason.
Well, thank you.
Appreciate
Thank you
it.
very much for your time.
Thank you, everyone.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you for everything, your comments, everything, the love, the support. So we appreciate it.
Very much so. And we do our best to get to those and answer and respond. But thank you.
All right. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.